Well, now to what Cyclone Alfred means for the AFL, and the league has made the difficult decision to postpone the opening matches that were due to be played in Queensland. The Lions were supposed to kick off the season against the Cats tomorrow night at the Gabba, while the Suns were set to take on Essendon on Saturday on the Gold Coast. Both games will be played at a later date, and for more, I am joined by AFL CEO Andrew Dillon. Good morning to you, Andrew. Look, we've been tracking this storm all morning. A no-brainer in the end from your perspective?
Yeah, morning, David. Thanks for having me on. I think, first of all, just to say from the AFL's point of view, for all of our staff, family, friends, players, and everyone in South East Queensland and Northern New South Wales, yeah, we're thinking of you as they're bracing for the impacts of the cyclone. But yeah, ultimately, led by advice from the government and decisions by the government, yeah, we didn't feel like we had any alternative.
Right, so those games are now being taken out. When will they be rescheduled? You have a nice little neat option here for the Cats versus Lions in round 3. Is that a likely option?
Look, that's certainly one of the options we're considering, and we're talking with the 4 affected clubs and making sure that we can slot those games in at a later time during the season, but looking at venue availability and making sure we get days breaks and all the things that are really important for our clubs, but also the fans as well.
Yeah, so speaking of fans, what does it mean for those who have already bought tickets? How do they go about getting those refunds?
Yeah, look, if they come through on the AFL website, but the advice is for them to go directly to the club or also the ticketing agency who they bought that, and then refunds will be available.
Now, just moving on while we've got you here, the NRL season opener has just been played out in Vegas, and some commentators, perhaps uncharitably, have said that it's drawn a bit of attention away from the AFL. Do you feel threatened by how big this aspect of the NRL has now become?
Look, they do a fantastic job, and it's really difficult to take games internationally, and operationally they did a great job. But we're really focused on our fans and our players, and we're going to have a hopefully 40,000 plus at the game on Friday night. We'll have 20,000 plus on Sunday, and then next week we'll start the season back in Melbourne with 2 games of 80,000 plus at the MCG. So I think we're thriving. We had record crowds last year, and we're way on track to do that again this year.
So essentially, you say you got the bigger numbers. It doesn't even matter, does it?
Well, look, we're a really well-attended sport, and our fans continue to flock for the big events that we put on.
And what about some international matches for the AFL? Are we now looking at those as well to compete with the NRL?
Well, what we're looking to do is continue to grow the game, and if that's, we've got so much opportunity in New South Wales and Queensland where we can continue to grow, but we're not ruling out anything at this stage. But any move for anything internationally, we'd want that to be part of a coordinated plan that's sort of fan-led.
Well, you have said that you wanted 10 million fans in Australia by 2033. Are we on track, and are we going to hit those targets, do you feel?
Look, we've been growing our fans at close to double digits over the last few years, and what we want to do, as I said before, just continue to grow our games, turn them from major events into mega events, and also looking at things like our grand final parade and footy festivals around Gather Round and the like. And the fans are loving it, and they're continuing to flock. Just
returning to the postponing of these matches this week, how have the clubs responded? I mean, were they easy to take that information? They were happy to have that moved on?
Look, obviously they would have loved to have played, but they understand, and they were incredible to deal with, as was the Players Association and all of our venues, and ultimately the broadcasters as well.
Is there a compensation now for those clubs, or how do they now go about it?
Well, we'll work with them, and that's why we're taking our time on the scheduling, just to make sure that they're not disadvantaged vis-a-vis the other 14 clubs.
Does the AFL have any plans to perhaps, and we're still just waiting to see how this storm now plays out, to perhaps get involved with any recovery effort in that area between Brisbane and Northern New South Wales?
Look, I think we've got a record historically of doing that, and we'll use our events and our fans and our players to do that, absolutely.
Yep, huge. We love to see it. Thanks so very much for your time, Andrew.
Thanks for having me on.